Hello and welcome to Needing a Meeting. My name is Carol. I'll be your host today. How's everybody doing? Hello, my other's keeper. Hi, Sandy Wayne. Hi, Henny. Hi, Misha. Good to see y'all. Ben.
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
Good. Hello, my name is.
My name
Excellent.
is what?
How you guys doing?
Good. How are you?
I'd be doing better if my camera was still. Don't breathe. Hey, I'm doing good. In case y'all didn't hear, I got quarters.
You
Michael
got
drove
Now,
me.
where did you find that little golden machine?
Michael drove me 30 minutes to the TA truck stop.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, you were so the truck stop worked then. I'm happy for you.
Hi,
To the
Jen
TA
Free.
truck stop.
How are you
But
feeling? Let us know how you're feeling today.
Better than the last couple of days. I made it out for a good walk, but I'm not going to interrupt this story because I'm happy she found quarters.
Take it away, Christy.
I was just gonna
Oh
say,
no.
so when we found it, so in my family, my nephews, I think I said before, my brother and my sister-in-law are very, good Christian religious people. They were trying to teach my nephews how to pray, and of course they got bored. So at the end they would go, "Hallelujah, amen, prayer fingers." So that became a thing in my family. So now whenever something good happens, we go, "Hallelujah, amen, prayer fingers." It's like jazz hands. Anyway, yes, it was good. I did laundry. Everything is happy now. I just have to drive 30
Good.
minutes one way to get the quarters. But yeah.
I hope that I know that you heard that word, my other's keeper, but I'm pretty sure none of us said that word. I do not think that word means what you think it means. I'm a Princess Bride quoter from way back.
No. Didn't say that word.
Coins.
That just gives that story a whole new meaning now, doesn't it?
Coins.
30 minutes to a
Well, you know what? Did you guys? I want to talk about some true crime today.
Okay, let's do it.
Were you guys all alive long enough ago to have known about the Lacey Peterson murder case?
Yes, that
and her
happened
husband
not
Scott.
too far from where I grew up. So I was in Fort Collins. Longmont is only, what is it, sweetie, an hour away? Longmont, if even that far. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So there's been rumblings on the internet that they're looking into his case to see if he's innocent. And ABC News actually has a blurb on the internet about his possibility of getting another trial, or I didn't get to watch the whole thing. I just saw the headlines and thought, bullshit.
Yeah. No.
Okay, if he's innocent, then as they're getting ready to close in on him as a suspect, why did he bleach his hair and go on the run?
Yeah.
Just riddle me that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well,
There are
not to
so
mention
many questions that you can ask. If he's so innocent, then why this and that and the other? I mean, it just goes on and on for days.
Yeah, his body
yeah.
language is absolutely horrible.
So he has hornswoggled somebody at the Innocence Project or something.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's probably it would be interesting to dig in on what their case is. Their
Yeah.
case for innocence.
Yeah.
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
I know that Tommy was talking about it, but I missed that one, so I don't know how how in depth their case is or anything. But yeah, I keep getting him and the other Peterson.
Oh, Drew, that
Drew,
monster.
yeah.
Yeah.
Drew is a POS, and I don't mean stuff. Yeah, he
Yeah.
is. Yeah, he's a But yeah, Scott. I don't know.
I'm trying to fathom who could have gotten that idea to go to bat for him on that.
Probably a woman.
That's what I'm
That
thinking.
I don't mean that disrespectful to women.
No,
Not that we're
no,
not
but
intelligent, but you get somebody who, you know. Oh, hi,
hello,
Jen.
Jen. Thank you for
Hi.
letting us see your face. I'm so
Oh,
sorry.
yeah.
Oh, I don't know what to tell you.
Check your speakers.
Yeah,
Well, of course, I'm saying this while she can't hear, so that doesn't help.
right.
Nope.
Well,
So you oh, go
I
ahead.
found something. It says the new twist in the last ditch appeals of Scott Peterson.
So is he
Um,
he's still getting appeals? He hasn't exhausted them all?
let's see. Okay. Now his lawyer strategy is emerging and it's a tenuous one at best.
Yeah.
Lacey was for those of you who don't know, Lacey was 8 months pregnant when she disappeared on Christmas Eve 2002. That day, her husband Scott left their Modesto home to go fishing at Berkeley Marina. Scott came under suspicion. So I must have had him confused with Drew Peterson. I'm sorry. Scott left their Modesto home to go fishing at the Berkeley Marina. He came home and he came under suspicion almost immediately, with detectives noting he seemed far too calm for a man whose heavily pregnant wife had suddenly vanished right before Christmas.
Right?
In April 2003, passersby found the bodies of Lacey and the fetus of her son Connor washed up on the shoreline near Richmond. The remains were badly decomposed from time in the water, and no cause of death was ever determined. A few days later, police arrested Scott Peterson, who had dyed his hair blonde, filled his car with survival gear, $15,000 in cash, and other evidence of a possible escape to Mexico. Detectives said he explained his hair turned that color due to swimming in chlorinated pools. He's got dark hair, y'all. That does not happen.
It doesn't happen.
Just letting you know. Let's see. On the drive back to Modesto, Peterson nonchalantly asked police to get him a double and a milkshake at the In-N-Out. Okay. Blah blah blah. As for motive, okay. So as for motive, they said he had racked up $23,000 in credit card debt. Wasn't looking forward to becoming a father. In 2021, Lacey's mother wept as she recalled putting her hand on Lacey to feel the baby moving. Scott doesn't want to do that. Okay, well, we're gonna skip that because that's sad.
Yeah.
Found Peterson guilty on 2 counts of murder. He was sentenced to death. His death sentence was later overturned, and he currently sits in Mule Creek State Prison without the possibility of ever being paroled. In January, the Los Angeles Innocence Project officially took up Peterson's case by filing motions in San Mateo on his behalf. The news was so controversial that the more famous Innocence Project, headquartered in New York, issued a statement clarifying that the Los Angeles Innocence Project is a nonprofit organization wholly independent of the Innocence Project.
Oh.
You act like somebody.
Yeah.
I
Yeah. So
I
yeah,
previously heard that
they
too.
weren't about to touch that one.
No. Completely independent. All right. So, I'm trying to find what the Los Angeles Innocence Project is seeking a court order to test for DNA on that fabric sample. Peterson's lawyers seem to be attempting to probe if Lacey and Connor were killed by 2 burglars who broke into a home across the street around Christmas Eve. By that logic, Lacey may have interrupted a burglary in process and was killed for it.
And the burglars took the time to roll her up in a carpet and take a boat out on the marina and weigh it down with cement. Thieves.
Yeah.
Thieves. Come
The
on.
case detective interviewed for the ABC News special said 2 men were arrested and charged for that burglary. They were questioned in the Peterson case and cleared of any involvement. Detectives believe the burglary, you know the word, likely happened at least a day after Lacey had already disappeared.
Oh, wow.
The Los Angeles Innocence Project also claims key witnesses who saw Lacey walking her dog on Christmas Eve after Scott left for the Berkeley Marina were not interviewed by police. Whether or not a San Mateo County judge believes there is sufficient reason to order new DNA tests remains to be seen. A status conference is set for March 12th. Peterson, now 51, was sent a notice to appear in court.
Oh.
There
Can you
you go.
correct me if I'm wrong, but did he get married in prison?
I don't know. That I
I
don't
can
mean,
know.
find
I know the Menendez brothers did, but why
Yeah.
I feel like I heard that he had gotten married, I'm not sure.
Well, I mean, it happens a lot.
Yeah. And I
You
hope
know,
that my face being here is okay.
100%, Jen. Thank you for
It's
being here.
good.
This is,
Yes.
Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Um,
Are you okay?
No, I feel terrible.
Such a way. Yeah, like you predicted, huh?
Yeah.
it doesn't.
Tommy called it, but
It doesn't say that he got remarried. It does not say
okay.
he's married.
Okay. Because I'm on my phone or I would have looked it up myself.
You're fine. I got my laptop here. We're good.
Good.
And I apologize for earlier. I started freezing. Apparently, this is happening when I jump on stream lately.
I wouldn't be surprised if I freeze here too because it's really, really windy.
Yeah, it's really rainy and stormy. Michael got off work early today and came home. So he's
Oh,
already
that's
here. So
nice.
you won't see him walking in the door. He's already in the door.
Oh, darn it. I can't stand seeing him.
Can't
Not
see him. I know. It
That hurts my face, but I have to, you guys know me. I have to make jokes.
yes, no.
Apparently, he is not married now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Benny, Betty, Bang, Bang. It doesn't sound the same when my nose is all gagged up. Hey, everybody started calling you Ben Ben, so I had to change it up to something else.
I've been called all sorts of names, so.
So what does everybody think about this Scott Peterson thing?
yeah, I'm like, no, there's no.
Mm-mm.
No.
I don't buy
Innocent
it.
my butthole.
You know how many times I tried to bleach my hair with like lemon juice and chlorinated water, and it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I loved
Yeah.
that
Well,
part when Christy said that. I was like, no, I tried that so many times when I was young.
yeah, when you have dark hair, especially dark like ours, that doesn't work.
Yeah.
Sun-in doesn't work. None of that works. Like you gotta
No,
go old school it, pay a stylist to
please,
bleach your hair out,
please.
and then
Yep.
it is a process.
Yeah.
I think it's disgusting, and I'm really glad that the True Innocence Project distanced themselves from this
Yeah.
case. I'm very
Yeah.
thankful
I am
that
too.
they did that. I
Yeah.
think to be
You got your
sentenced to
sound bar on, Jen?
Of course. I have my sound bar on and I can't keep this. Okay, there. I think I can keep this in the stand now. Let me turn this. And I'm not technologically stupid.
I think that it is a pretty serious deal for a jury of 12 people to to sentence someone to death, because that is a very serious thing. There's
Mhm.
not many states that have the death penalty left. And
Yeah.
when that is something, you're given the option of the death penalty or life in prison, and they chose the death penalty. I
Yeah.
think to go back and to do this not only undermines our legal system, which we all know is not perfect, all right, but
But using
also,
those resources that need to go to something else when this
yeah,
case has
well,
already been proven.
right. And to go and it goes, I think it undermines Lacey and Connor's memory and their
Mhm.
legacy. It re-traumatizes their family. I think it basically says to the jurors, you're not competent enough to
Right.
sit through this trial and to decide what you've decided.
Connor would be in his 20s now. He'd be
Yeah,
in
Wow.
college. He would be in
yeah,
college.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I
I
mean,
find it
it's
kind of
just,
gross that it's called the Innocent Project kind of thing too. The firm that's taking it on.
Yeah.
It
oh yeah,
goes
I get
against
LA.
everything. It goes against everything the Innocence Project stands for.
Yeah.
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 That's why the
Yeah.
Innocence Project put that statement out saying that they're independent and they're not
Mhm.
part of their movement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
that was really infuriating to hear that. I thought, like,
Mhm.
I know that they're looking at the Menendez brothers cases again for different reasons,
Right.
but
And
but
I'm
um
and I'm not opposed to that. I mean,
that
those were
that one
extraordinary circumstances that and I believe those boys. I
I
believe them.
believed them all along. I did. I
Mhm.
believed them all along because you're not back 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 then you're not gonna get away with murdering your parents and then getting the money. Like there was something so much deeper to it that the court wouldn't allow you know into the proceedings, and I think that's incredibly unfair. But Scott Peterson had every opportunity to
Mhm.
be honest, or if he was innocent, not to color his hair.
And go on
And
the run.
after he went fishing and getting ready to go to Mexico to meet his girlfriend.
When his wife is 8 months pregnant and missing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Yeah.
yeah,
I had to make sure I had to make sure because I get them all mixed up. But yeah, he
Yeah.
was the one who did the really creepy ass. Can I say ass? Oh, the
Yeah, you
really
can.
creepy interview with Diane Sawyer where he's
yeah.
talking about his wife being murdered. He's smiling. He looks drugged out. I mean, he
He
probably,
does look like he's been
yeah,
sedated heavily.
but
Oh wow.
yeah, he's talking. He's just smiling about her dead body and everything. I mean, he's probably on Valium or something, but still, yeah, he
I
just
forgot. Had they already found her body when he went on the run, or was she still a missing
It
person?
sounded like they caught him right before, like they
They
caught him
found
Yep,
him.
as
That's
he was
that's what I
going on the
thought.
run. Yeah,
yep.
yeah.
Yeah.
So he was headed out. And I
But
mean,
but he had all the stuff on him. Like he had the money in the past. Sorry, Christy. He had like the
The
money in the
survival
passport.
stuff.
All the,
Yeah.
yeah, all of it. He had everything with him, showing signs that he was going to run. But they,
And
like
hide.
Christy said, yeah, like Christy said, they got him just in time.
Yeah.
and here's the thing. Okay, so I can tell you with 1,000% certainty, if somebody murdered me, the last thing my husband is going to do is take a bunch of stuff and head to Mexico.
Right,
You know what I
right,
mean? Like, you're not going to hear from the dude, but what he is going to do is not going to be that, right? He will
Mhm.
do you, he will drop off the planet. He'll be
Yeah.
like, oh, but I mean, you don't, if somebody does that to someone that you love, your first thought is not, let me grab 15 grand and some
right,
survival gear and head to Mexico. I mean,
right,
a
Mhm.
normal person that you love, you are out for revenge. You are out for vengeance. Like you are
Yeah.
not even caring the name of what is going on. Like,
It's your wife and it's your pregnant wife.
yes,
right.
Yeah.
8
yes,
months.
Well,
There's no
a
hiding
baby,
that she's pregnant. There's
and
no
yeah,
At this point, that baby could have lived on its own outside of her body.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a fact. So that's he killed his wife and son.
Well, and
Mhm.
and they said he didn't want to be a dad. Okay, so there's other things you can
Get a
do.
vasectomy.
You
Yeah.
know what? Sign away your rights.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Get
Sign away
divorced.
your rights. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
like, look, there's a lot of options out there. You don't have to, if you don't want to be a father, you don't have to be a father. Sign away your rights, walk away. You know, I mean, $23,000 in credit card debt. Okay, you know what? That's pretty fixable too. File
Yeah.
bankruptcy. If you don't
Yeah.
want to do that, go to one of those debt consolidation places. If you got a divorce, you'd probably only have to pay half anyway. You'd
Yeah.
split it between the two because it's marital debt that was accumulated during the marriage.
Yeah.
I
So
mean, it
unless
really would
he
have been
just
better for him to divorce and screw her over than to, kill them.
Right.
Yeah, it
yeah,
doesn't.
I mean, truthfully, okay, so say that she could have gotten a really vicious attorney who could have taken half of everything. All right.
Yeah.
Well, you're still walking away, sign your
You
rights
you
away,
had something, you
and
can
go.
get something again.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right. Well, and he already
Um,
had something lined up, right? Like he already had a girlfriend lined up and, whatever.
Well, I'm
I
talking
don't
about
know.
the assets and all that stuff,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
you
Hi,
know?
Cosmic.
Hi, Cosmic.
Yeah, I mean, but honestly,
It just
there's so many
infuriates
ways.
me.
Here's the okay, and let me just put this out there. If you have enough money, you can hire an attorney to do anything you want. You can hide assets, you can lie about your assets, you can get nothing paid to either party by hiding most of what you have. And
Right.
you have enough money, you can pay an attorney to do it. I know, and you can walk away. That's an
Right.
I mean,
option.
yeah, you have to find somebody who doesn't mind their law license being
Oh,
on the line, and there are
they're
plenty of those that are
they're
that
out there.
unscrupulous. They're out there. They are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
But I mean that's the other thing. Like there are so many. That's what I don't understand is like just and let's take a look at just the psychology of somebody that is able to do that. Most people cannot just murder a pregnant woman. Most men are
Right?
not going to murder their pregnant wives.
Right?
It there is something psychological going on there,
For
clearly.
sure. For sure.
I mean,
Diabolical is
yes.
one of the
Mhm.
Yeah.
things.
Um, and it just I'm so glad though that the one place distanced themselves. I
I am
really am.
too. I am
Yeah.
And
too.
my guess is he now I don't know him clearly, but my guess is he's smooth talked somebody
Yeah.
somewhere
Yeah.
Yeah.
into believing this. And I mean, con men they don't stop,
They stay.
and I
No.
mean, now do I
Yeah.
believe that people can reform themselves and become better? Yes, I do.
Mhm.
But is he someone that has done that? Clearly not.
No. Well, and
Clearly not.
I think about the Innocence Project on different levels. Like I think about my friend Damien Eccles, who was in prison in death row for over 18 years for a crime he didn't commit. And my other friend Jason and their friend Jesse, they were in prison for 18 years for the murder of 3 8-year-old boys in Arkansas. Carol, I don't know if you've always been in Arkansas, if you've heard of the West Memphis Three.
Yes, I have.
Yes.
Okay,
Mhm.
so I've been friends with Damien since 1996. We have been fighting since 2011 when they were released on an Alford plea, which is a joke, right? So you have to still say,
Yeah.
"Oh, I'm guilty of murder, but I can maintain my innocence. But this little startup innocence project in LA is going to take on Scott Peterson's case. They're not going to pay attention to something like that could give the families that are still alive of the dead boys and the grown men whose lives were destroyed over this.
Yeah.
No. Let's just stick with California and the Petersons, because
Aren't
that guy's cute, right?
are they the same Innocence Project group that tried to take up Daniel Holtzclaw? He was a cop who would pull over African American women and have them perform certain acts upon him.
Oh,
And yeah, they had DNA, they had all this stuff, but the police officers, the interrogators also did. They weren't just. They did some stupid things. They would talk to other people who were pulled over by a police officer, and they were trying to feed, them. So yeah, there was some question, but the thing is, there was a few people. It's like, no, this is him. I mean, the DNA swabs, all this other stuff. This is him.
Yeah.
Right.
Wow. But yeah, I wonder if it isn't some technicality they.
That's been my impression since the first whiff I got of this.
Well, it's got to
That
be.
he's trying to wriggle around some little technicality somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, the DNA evidence would be the technicality. If that DNA is, but wasn't that used in the first trial?
Yeah, I thought so.
They had it. Here's so for those of you, because I wasn't sure, an Alford plea is maybe entered by a defendant who has been charged with a crime. In entering an Alford plea, the individual essentially enters a plea of guilty while maintaining a claim of innocence. In such a case, the defendant is admitting that whatever evidence the prosecution has is likely to convince the court he is guilty. To explore this concept, okay, so it's used in plea bargaining, and here's an example. Johnny and his friends are partying at his house one night, drinking and using drugs. Things get out of hand. The neighbors call the police when they hear a gunshot. The next thing Johnny knows, he is waking up in a jail cell. Then he is charged with assault with a deadly weapon and assault causing great bodily harm. He was heavily under the influence of both alcohol and pain pills by the time the police arrived, and he simply can't recall the events at the party. As it turns out, Johnny is a local drug distributor, doling out drugs to drug dealers for sales and paying the wholesale. Okay. During this party, a man Johnny did not know showed up with one of Johnny's friends. The man got into a loud argument with some of the partygoers, which soon turned into a brawl, and a gun went off. Police investigation led them to believe that Johnny was the shooter, but Johnny knows he would not have shot anyone even if they were arguing and fighting. Doing so would invite the police into Johnny's home, where he had a great deal of evidence of his drug-related activities. When the prosecution offers a plea bargain in which Johnny would enter an Alford plea in exchange for the maximum sentence, so it ensures that he has a shorter sentence than he would receive if he was convicted at trial. And it keeps the police from investigating more deeply.
And it also keeps the state from having to bear responsibility for false imprisonment and having to pay tens of millions of dollars to each person that they falsely imprisoned.
Yeah. Wow.
Because in situations like that Christy just explained, the Alford plea makes sense, right? Like, it completely makes sense. But these guys are 18 and a half years into, two of them have a life sentence and one is sentenced to death. He was supposed to die a year to the day after the murders. They were supposed to execute Damien. And the reason that they never executed Damien, the reason they tried to keep it quiet, the reason why anytime the media would show up, Damien would get beat afterwards, is because the city of West Memphis, the county and the state, did not want to get busted for all the huge mistakes that they did. in order to protect a stepfather that they knew personally, whose DNA was at the scene, in fact.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh
Oh,
my
The
God.
Alfred plea basically lets the police off for making a huge mistake. Yeah, having to admit you're guilty so you can go free. 100%. Like Jason wanted to be an attorney and work with the Innocence Project. Well, he can't because he's a convicted murderer. You know, but this is so now they're saying, so I just brought this thing up from January 30th. From News Nation, traces of human blood discovered in a burnt van could bring Scott Peterson's murder conviction into question as the case is re-examined by the Los Angeles Innocence Project. Whose van? What blood? What?
Huh.
Yeah.
Now they're saying that a former investigator says key evidence wasn't properly investigated in his case.
oh, is that
Okay, so then
right?
let's retry him. Let's not just let him off. Why don't we retry him? And then he'll get convicted again because he killed his wife and his son.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Oh wow.
If he's already convicted of it, though, they can't try him again,
Wouldn't that be
right?
double
Like,
jeopardy?
Right. Yeah, double. I don't know if that plays
so
into
they
the
have
double
to find
jeopardy or
something
not.
new.
If they find him, I know for sure if they find him a murderer innocent and he does not get convicted, a jury acquits, then they cannot retry him again for that murder.
What
But
Okay.
I don't know if
but
it
what
works
about
if the other
what
way or not.
what about
Okay.
What about Adnan Saeed, who was released and his charges against killing his former girlfriend from high school were dropped, and then they brought him back in like a year later. I mean, this is none of it makes sense.
None of it.
Well, I think the only way they can do it is they have to have new evidence that wasn't available in the trial before.
Okay.
That's the only way. But it gets really tricky,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
Okay, but this isn't new. Okay, so if we're going to stick to that argument, the van is not new evidence because they investigated the van in 2002.
Unless they didn't do something with, because in the article it said there was new DNA evidence. So
Right.
unless so that would be the loophole. There
The,
would be new evidence.
well, the retrial or the double jeopardy clause allows for if an appellate court says you can retry everything, it allows for all that stuff to enter the mix again.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah. Double jeopardy clause allows retrial of a defendant when the appellate court determines that a defendant's conviction was based in part on evidence which was erroneously admitted and that the remaining evidence was insufficient to support a conviction. So basically, if that was a key piece of evidence, they'd have to make the case that it was key and it was the reason why he was convicted, or likely the reason why.
right.
And all the
Okay.
rest of the evidence wouldn't
This
be
says
enough
Right.
for the
this
jurors.
says the LA Innocence Project believes enhanced DNA testing could provide more information. However, the district attorney's office says Peterson's conviction was upheld in 2022.
Hmm,
So that is already twice.
it sounds like he
Mhm.
already had his shot. Sounds
Yeah.
like.
Yeah.
Well, then he
I
can
guess
just stay where he is.
I don't remember. Does anybody recall what Tommy's impression of? Because I always get him and the other one whose name
Drew
I
Drew
threw.
Peterson, he said he was as big a POS as he appears to be.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Okay.
He's
Drew
not a
Peterson.
good guy.
It was so weird that Drew Peterson interview came out yesterday morning, and I watched it, and then Tommy covered it, and I was like, "Oh, I already watched this." Like, and thought of Tommy, and was really studying the guy, and yeah, he's a total sociopath,
Yeah.
absolute sociopath. I don't know
Well,
if
Yeah.
not
anybody
just a
is a
sociopath, but I mean, one who just, a sociopath is not necessarily going to be a murderer
Um,
and a criminal.
Okay, well then let me put it this way. That guy is a murderous criminal.
Yes. And a
Mhm.
POS, a
And a
full-on
POS.
POS.
Yes.
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
have to go back and watch that video from Tommy because I haven't seen it yet.
oh
It's
yeah,
good.
he did it pretty. I'm gonna have to read up on this. I mean, I've heard about this, but I want to know more so that I can speak better on it.
Yeah, and I really need to see that that one talk that Tommy gave on it. I think I might have only made like the last 10 minutes of it. I think I had time to
Oh,
jab at
when
Kiss
he was
Freak, and that
talking
was
about
about it.
Scott Peterson versus the Menendez brothers.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I should probably go back and watch that too. I don't know if anybody's a big comedy fan, but one of my favorite, the news just broke that one of my favorite comics passed away at 76, Mr.
Oh.
Richard Lewis.
Richard Lewis.
Love Richard Lewis. When I was a teenager, and I've had insomnia most of my life, but when I was a teenager living with my grandma, he would always be on with David Letterman late at night. And he was just so funny and really self-effacing, and I just and plus I thought he was really good looking.
Chris,
Because
Lord Kiss Freak wants to know what he did now, Ben.
Hey, Lord Kiss Freak, I must say, I still think Eric Carr was a better drummer, and I still like Vinnie Vincent Invasion as their over Ace Frehley.
no, Vinnie Vincent
Whoa,
belonged to Billy Idol. Stop messing with
that's
stuff.
insane.
Are you crazy?
No, he was in Kiss for a short time.
No, I know he was, but don't take him back away from Billy Idol. They're great together.
I like the snare. I love Billy Idol's snare. I wish
So
I
do
could.
I. When I was 14 years old, the two posters I had on my bedroom wall was Mick Jagger and Billy Idol in his red leather outfit with the vest and the pants. Oh gosh, love that man. And he's still good looking today, even though, I mean, we're all old, whatever, but well, I mean, Stasia's not old. Chrissy, you're old.
I am old.
Well, after the
I
quarter
think
story,
I'm
we now know.
I think I'm actually the oldest one here. I'm 57. I'll be 58 in April.
Okay, I'll be 54 in June.
I'm between you two.
There you go.
Oh, I'm not the second oldest. Oh, yay. Oh, man.
Oh, goodness.
So tell us about you, Jen.
Oh, what do you, um,
What's going on with you?
so I'm having a really hard time with movement today, which stinks because I wasn't prepared to get attacked, so I didn't have any groceries in the house. Um, but
Mm.
I'm not sleeping too great. I'm only sleeping about an hour and a half
Uh-oh.
to 2 hours at a time.
Ooh. Ooh.
Haven't really left my
Mhm.
apartment. Um, I'm yeah, I'm really uncomfortable with
I went through that when my brother beat me up, and it was both the trauma and the pain in my body. It was both.
looking at myself in the mirror when I got home, and then seeing in myself now. It also triggers my domestic abuse with Jason. So like it's a double-edged sword for me. Luckily,
Yeah.
I had therapy this morning at 11, so that helped a lot. Obviously, that's all we talked about. Um, I heard back from my friend, the city manager, who's keeping me updated on what's going on, and they're still going through videos and trying to identify these guys. I think that we're going to have a really hard time because more than likely they don't have criminal records, unless their immigration records are used. I mean, or if I'm able to see them, I don't think that anything's gonna happen.
Mm, mm, mm.
I really don't.
But
And the
if
sad
somebody
thing
commits a
is,
crime, just because they haven't been convicted of a crime before doesn't mean that they didn't commit that crime. I don't
right.
Yeah.
understand what that has to do with anything.
And
Well,
what would stop them from pulling the immigration records to identify them? I'm just curious.
I don't know. I have to look into that if that's like something that local police can access, or if that's something that they have to get the rights of federal agencies. I don't know.
Why do they have
Gotcha.
to have a criminal record already to be convicted of a crime they committed? I don't that's not making sense.
No, Carol, to be
Oh.
identified.
Oh.
I think because your immigration they're going through all this with Prince Harry right now. It's why it's a big deal. Your immigration status is protected. It's
Uh,
something that just not anybody can get their hands on. It is protected.
Gotcha.
So that depends on how it is and how long they've been in the country. So again,
mhm.
not getting into the weeds here, just stating fact, the borders being so open on the southern border, depending on how they came in or how they got here, when they cross that border, they get X amount of dollars, a court date in 3 years, and a cell phone and a bus ticket to wherever they want to go. So if they fell through those cracks, or if they, snuck in or something like that, there might not be anything. If they're, that's provided somebody shows up legally. If they show up illegally, that's going to be very difficult to find because there's nothing
Mhm.
to find. But they're going to have to go through Homeland Security to get all of that. And that's why it's such a big fight with Prince Harry right now, is because his drug use. That's why Kate Moss can't come into the country, because she admitted to using a while ago, and they won't let her into the States, which is why when Johnny Depp was on trial, she could not come into the States. Same with
Oh,
Amy Winehouse. So Prince Harry has admitted to all of this, but it's a fight because the Heritage Foundation is trying to get his records, and they're saying that it's all protected because everybody's is protected. So I can see it being very difficult for you, and I hope that that's not the case. I hope you
But
get
it's not
somebody very
protected
soon.
from immigration officials.
No, but you have to. There's got to be.
that's
It's
federal.
it's privacy. Yeah, it's a privacy thing. So they would have to go to the top to get that. They won't be able, like police won't be able to just pull it.
So,
Mhm.
but
Is my understanding.
if federal authorities are challenging his qualifications for being here, they have access to the records and they have that authority, don't they?
Well, no, the Prince Harry's records are even sealed from the judge on the case.
Well,
Yeah, I mean,
also
it's a
Prince
whole
Harry,
thing.
I don't believe Prince
Yeah.
Harry was ever charged with any drug crimes. So
No,
you
no.
can't necessarily prove, like you can't be like, oh, you use drugs. Well, prove it.
Well,
There's no,
well, here's the thing.
He admitted
He's
it.
gone and done
you
interviews
did.
about it, and he wrote a book
And he
about it.
wrote a
He's
book, I know.
admitted it. And so, but the difference is that they're thinking that he lied on the thing. And so the whole reason I brought that in was because
Huh.
they're not even, the whole fight is that immigration records are sealed, and
Yeah.
not just for him but for anyone. They're sealed.
Mhm.
So the judge in the case doesn't they're even sealed from the judge, so the judge is having to figure it out. So if it now,
Wow.
again, I understand Prince Harry, but still, if
Yeah,
it's
I
that
just say free
complicated.
Prince Harry. He didn't beat me up, so I want him to stay. And he's cute, and his mom would want him to be here.
Have you ever read his book?
I
Yeah,
have no
There.
desire to
I
read
did.
anything that man
I
writes.
pre-ordered it. I read it. I was disappointed in it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I
I
was
don't.
disappointed. It doesn't mean that I'm not still happy that he broke away from his family, though, which is what he always wanted to do. So, I mean, should he have kept his mouth shut? Probably.
That would have been That would have been, a goodwill gesture on his part.
Given the current circumstances of his family, I think it would have been the smartest thing he could have done. But then he gets, he's like me and he gets fiercely protective. He lost his mom because people are harassing him. That documentary show they did, it wasn't even about his family. That was about the paparazzi. The book was what was about his family, and like if he would have just if I mean, okay, if he wanted to talk about his battle with his brother, then I don't see how that's a big deal because, brothers battle all the time, especially royal brothers. But then maybe don't talk about the rest of the family,
Yeah.
I
because
think
that's
the
something
crappy
that was
thing,
a promise.
I think the crappy thing is that they cannot defend themselves.
That's right.
He is taking shots against people that
And, and
literally cannot defend themselves. And I don't care who you
so
are,
it's his
that is
word
not
against
okay.
nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's not
and
fair. It is not
and
fair.
to
It's
say
cheap
to
shots is what it is.
and to
Cheap shots
say
at them.
especially the things about it I don't think anything of it is appropriate. Now, whether behind closed doors, we don't know what happens.
No.
But to come out and to attack somebody that the whole entire world knows cannot defend themselves,
That's right.
that's just a bad
Just
look.
that's
And
low
I
hanging
have
fruit and low. Just low.
do I think that he went through some stuff? Yes, I do.
Yeah,
I do.
I do.
I think that
Oh,
there
for
was
sure.
a lot of stuff that he went through, but
Yeah. But
that
that
doesn't
other
give you
stuff
an
that he
excuse.
exposed was bad taste.
Yeah,
I mean,
Or
we
piss
don't
poor
need
bad
we don't
taste.
need to know we don't need
yeah.
to know who he was deflowered by in a field. I don't. That's okay.
I
I
mean, that
unfortunately find
that
I
wasn't
find
just
the
his story
realism
to
in,
tell.
I really studied that Oprah interview, right? And I was watching him and the documentary, and there is something very telling about his body language when she's talking, especially when she's insulting the queen with the curtsy thing, like
Yeah.
like it was a
Yeah,
joke.
he
and
just had
and
a real
and
tight grimace
yeah,
on his
and
face. Yeah.
people were like, oh, he's all embarrassed. I'm like, no, he's shrinking because this is his family and he loves these people, and he's being, a bit unduly influenced by his wife's emotions.
Yet if you look at him closely, what he does is there is there's only a few universal emotions or facial expressions. I think there's only 7 of them. Paul Ekman was the one who started talking about him. He does disgust, which is where you curl. Which is Billy Idol, where you pull up one side of your.
Mhm.
It's hard. It's hard to do when you're. Yeah, it's like what Christy's doing. He does that when she's doing her little. And there
Yes,
was a
he
study
does.
done by somebody interesting. And what was it? It was amazing. It was like 90, 80 or 90%, a real high percentage of couples where if one of them expresses that look
Yeah.
at their significant other, they will be divorced within 5 years, I think it was. I'll have to dig it up, but it was a fascinating study, and who knows if it's true or not because it's because it's on the web isn't necessarily true, but
Well,
still, yeah, that really struck a lot of people because yeah, she's
and
doing this. You look at him, he's kind of, he's not doing it intentionally. It's body
no,
language
it's
is
just his emotions.
yeah,
And
Yeah.
another telling thing for me is that within 15 minutes of it being announced that his father had cancer, that man was on a plane to go see his father, even if he only got 15 minutes. He still loves his family. I think it has more to do with her than it does with him.
I hope
Maybe.
that
That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be honest. I've seen really, really nasty, nasty, nasty sides of people. And there's a lot that I see in that marriage that is just a little too familiar and a little too close. And I don't
Mhm.
buy a lick of it for a second. Do I think he's brainwashed? Yes, I do. Do I
Yeah.
think she's got some sort of control over him? Absolutely. Do I
Yeah.
think he was maybe always this bad? Probably not. But I
Right.
am telling you, this, no, no,
Oh
that
no,
was
he
an
was completely
information
broken.
getting thing. And
Yeah.
you know, when you've seen it and you've been in it, it it just goes off all around
Mm-hmm.
you. And there is
Mm-hmm.
nothing about that that is, it's just, yeah, I
It's just
I
not good.
can't.
Oh, do you see, a, do you see two people, two peas in a pod, or a victim and a manipulator?
I
I
see a
see a
really
victim.
bad victim and a really good manipulator. I see,
Yeah.
because if you look at what was done, and you know, when you have somebody who wears your dead mother's perfume, when you have somebody who goes to the lengths that was gone to get you to trauma bond with them,
Ooh,
that is a
Mm-hmm.
sick person.
mhm.
I would never, you know, I mean, it's one thing if they're like, oh, she's worn this fragrance forever. No, no, that was not the case. You know, when
Mm-hmm.
you are trying to create a trauma bond with someone else so that you can get them, that's sick.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
And
it
that's
is.
exactly what happened. And then what ends up happening is Stockholm syndrome. And
Yeah.
what
Right.
ends up happening is that person becomes so dependent on you that they cannot function without you.
Ouch you.
And
Yeah.
it
That-
takes a very twisted person to get someone there. And you don't do
And
it by accident. I'm
do
sorry.
you remember when he said, I don't know if it was in the docuseries or the Oprah interview, where he said out of his own mouth, she was my excuse for leaving.
Mhm.
And I really, she had put that in his head that you wanted this all along and I'm giving you this
Yes,
opportunity.
it's manipulation. You
And
can make anybody believe anything if you try if the first instances of you is a trauma bond connection, there's no way that's a healthy relationship.
Yeah, yeah,
right.
that would be
There's,
codependent by definition.
yeah, I mean, and it's, and for me, uh you know, Dixie 504, hey, um, you know, the thing is, there was serious manipulation there,
Yeah.
serious.
Yeah.
And the level of malignancy, you know, this is a textbook case. If you want to study a grandiose, malignant, psychopathic narcissist, like take a good long look, because this is what it looks like. And you know,
Mhm.
to be perfectly honest, he is not going to leave
Uh,
until he is so broken that the shambles of his life fall down around him. And when that time comes, he's not going to have anything left. It's going to be very little.
I don't
And
know how
I
much
hope,
more broken he can get, man.
oh, quite a bit,
Oh,
quite a bit. I don't think
I
that
mean,
Yeah.
yes,
as well as he can
now
go.
with the children, she could really destroy him with those children.
Yeah.
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 Well, and you know, if we ever seen the kids, but you know, the thing is, he has burnt so many bridges that
Yeah.
even going back to the family is
Hmm.
he's going to be kept at arm's length. He can
Yeah.
never go back. All of this that has been done cannot be undone.
No.
It could be forgiven to a point, but saying people are, you know, things that they're not, that they're clearly not, you know,
Yeah.
Mhm.
how can you ever trust someone like that again? And
Hmm.
I think that he is going to be so emotionally fragile when he comes
Yeah.
out of this. When he, because I think he's
Yeah.
got a lot lower to go. If you want my
Well,
honest opinion, he's probably got another 5 years before it really hits
Before it
him.
starts to,
I think
before
it's
the,
starting to hit him. I think it's starting to hit him. He's starting to see it, but I predict it, my prediction, he's got another 5 years before this really smacks him. And when it does, she's gone, she's moved on, she's found somebody richer. The kids, you don't really ever see them, but whatever they are, wherever they are, he's not going to have access to them. She's going to
Right.
twist the book around. She's going to twist the interviews around. She is going to make him so broken. She has already isolated him from everybody important in his life. His
Yeah.
family doesn't even trust him. That when he goes back, not only is his country not going to want him back, but his family is probably going to put him somewhere, and it's going to take a whole lot to undo everything that has been done
Oh,
to
yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't see this ending well, and I don't know that we ever really probably even see him again. My guess
Yeah.
is when
He's
he
gonna
comes back,
disappear.
I think he's gonna just be, oh yeah, do you remember? Like it's he can never go back. What he's done,
No,
he can never go back,
and we
and
don't
that's what
really
makes me the
know.
saddest.
We don't even really know if it's going to be 5 years because it all depends on how sick King Charles actually is.
Yeah.
Well,
And I'm pretty sure he's quite sick.
oh, I'm sure he is too, but Prince William is also, yeah, he's not gonna let him
Oh no,
anywhere.
Prince William, once Prince William's in charge, it's over.
Well, and that's why I'm saying, but I'm saying for Prince Harry to realize it, I do really believe he's got another. I think he's starting to cotton on, but I don't think it's to the point where it's slapped him in the face yet. Everybody else is starting to see it.
Yeah,
He's not yet because he's in it. I really
he's
do
still
think
in it,
that's,
right?
and
So I've
I'll
been
tell you another reason why. If they're married for 10 years, I mean, California is a 50-50 state anyway, but they're married for 10 years. She legally she gets half of it all.
Yes,
yeah.
yes,
So
that's
I
yep.
don't think she's so stupid to bounce before then. I mean,
Well, that
I
was smart
really
of her
don't.
to take him to California. That was very smart calculation.
Well, it was very manipulative too. I mean,
Mhm.
what a
Yeah.
more perfect way to isolate somebody than to remove them from everything and everyone they've ever
Mhm.
known. To
Yeah.
go to a place where we don't even acknowledge the monarchy. We fought hey y'all, we fought a war over that.
Right.
You remember? That's why we have the Constitution and the amendments,
Mhm.
Mhm.
and now I don't think she's the smartest person on the planet. I think she's made her mistakes, but I do think that yeah, I think it's bad, and it, you know it it's not good. It's she's gonna this is what happens. They get everything they can from you. They've fed off of you as long as they can
Mhm.
feed off of you, and then they go on, and it's hard,
Yeah,
you know.
that's too bad because
Yeah.
I think that he was a good human being.
I
I've
think he
been
was.
living under a
I'm
rock
sure he
dealing with
wasn't.
all of my own things. When did this come out about the king and cancer?
A week ago? A week
It's been,
ago?
No,
I
it's
Okay.
been a
think,
little
been,
bit longer than that.
I
It's
think
been at least 2, 3 weeks.
yeah,
So
I think
beginning
it's
of
been like
February.
yeah, 2, 3 weeks, yeah, and it was bad enough that Harry flew from California on his own, and on his own money to go see him, and he only got 45 minutes with him.
Well,
If that.
but you got to question that too, because when a narcissist is that in control of you, they're sending you. They're not
Yeah.
letting you go anywhere they don't want you to go. And she does not want him. Well, she wants him to be around him so she can get information. But, and they've all figured it out. Like, this is just so familiar to me. This whole thing is so familiar. And it just,
Yeah.
yeah,
I've
We
had
live
to
in
kind of
the
look away for a while on it, to be honest.
I don't blame you. We live in a crazy world.
yeah.
That
Too.
Yeah.
is that is
Okay.
interesting, Christy. I didn't even think about it from that angle that you would have such a keen awareness of that, given your past. But yeah, that is an interesting
You
And
know, from the moment that I seen those, engagement pictures, I was like, oh, this is bad, bad, bad.
yeah,
But
there's
yeah, you know,
yeah,
you have a different insight into it when you've
yeah, you would.
seen that, you know,
Mhm. Yeah.
and
You mean like the
it
double holding of his hand and all that, and her hand on his back and everything?
just just the
In
manipulation
general.
of it all.
Mhm.
Just the yeah, like
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I put my hand on my husband's back, you know, I'll be like, oh, hey, come over here, move out of the way. But it's not anything
Yeah.
like that. It's
It's
when you,
ownership. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
yeah. And, you know, and here's another thing like, so in America, you know, the guy will open the door for the woman goes first, she gets out of the car first, whatever. That's not the custom in England when you're dealing with
Mm,
royalty. The
mm-mm.
royal person goes first. And
Mm-hmm.
you could tell from the beginning when she was starting to manipulate and control him, she would touch his back, he would step aside, she would go forward. That's a
Mm-hmm.
control tactic. There's
Oh,
no two ways about that. If you're talking and I come over to you and I put my hand on your back and you shut up and leave, that is me controlling you. If it
Mhm.
is if it is protocol that you go into a room first and I touch your back and you step out of the way and motion me in, if you have to be told by the king, when you grew up knowing your place and you have to be told by the king, who's your dad,
Mm-hmm.
how it goes, yeah, that's control. That's all
Mm-hmm.
control. And it's no different than me act like somebody. You know, that's
Yeah.
me controlling my dog's behavior. You know,
Right.
it's pretty simple, but
I
it's
wasn't
a
really putting that together, in my own experiences to look at it in that perspective.
and most people don't. You know, that is it is really it is unnerving how I mean, look at his appearance. You know, being very put together, you know, he did have a little bit more hair. He was, you
Yeah.
know, more put together and everything like that. And now what is he in? He's in all gray. Why is he always in all gray? Because it's him shrinking. She has devalued him to the point she does not even call him Harry anymore. She went
No.
from Harry, then she called him that one. Then she called him, or no, she went from Harry, and then she called him my husband. Then she called him
Yes.
that one, or then she called him Has. Then she
Has.
called him
Yeah.
H. Then she
Mm-hmm.
called him H, and now she says that one. When you
Yeah.
take away a person's name, you take away who they are. You say the name Christy, people know who you're talking about. If you say Cosmic, you know who you're talking about.
Yeah.
Carol, Ben, Stasia, Jen. When you take away someone's name, you are taking away their identity.
Mm-hmm.
You have just devalued them to a level that no human should ever be devalued to.
yeah.
That's
And it's funny. And you're
Yeah.
doing it on a world stage. And no
Yeah.
one is saying shit.
Well,
Fuck,
I
that's a
think people
goodie.
are. I think there are a lot of people that really
They
do
are
believe that.
now.
They
Yeah.
are
They
now
are
that the
now.
queen is dead.
Well, not even that. There's a lot of people that have been speaking up for a long
For
time,
a while,
but
even before
but
that.
there's a
Mhm.
lot of people who are starting to see it because that's the thing. A narcissist mask does not, they cannot maintain that.
mhm.
There's no level of energy that you can have to maintain that. That's why you see the slips. That's why you see
Yeah.
those, you know, that's where it comes from. It takes a lot of energy. A good narcissist will show up and show their traits and then get out before anything can happen, before people cotton on. She didn't do that. She had a lot of people believe in things, you know, because you go back to Princess Diana and that whole story wasn't even completely true. I mean, you know, she courted the media as well. She worked with the media. She called the paparazzi just like everybody else
Okay.
did. It's a thing.
Mhm.
People do it, but she took it too far, you know, and now you're really seeing where that devaluing is coming from. You know, oh, see, and here's the other thing. This is how she can twist this. She can go back and say, I never told him he couldn't go see his dad. Look, I let him go. I didn't stop him.
Yeah.
I didn't stop him from speaking his truth. He wrote a book, he did interviews. I was concerned because, you know, of all of the drug abuse and everything that he did. Look at him. Look at what he did. Look at how this was. No, y'all. She's going to twist that thing 7 ways from Sunday and let it swing in the breeze. That dude is done.
What are you
Steve!
doing,
Hey,
Steve?
Steve.
Hi.
I did really like South Park when they did Meghan and Harry.
Yeah, I did too.
That was fun.
it wasn't in depth, but it lets you know that other people can see this on the surface.
And we want privacy tour.
Yeah, yeah.
Hey,
They're doing all this.
Yeah,
Yes.
I love it. I
Hi.
love what that show is done.
Hi.
That was good. Hey, Steve.
Steve,
I'm trying to come. I'm
what's
trying to get on. I just
Sometimes I have to change browsers for some reason.
that's what I had to do to get my sound to work. That was my problem with my sound before.
Yeah.
Some of them like my camera, other ones don't.
Mhm.
let me try this again. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
Are you on a
okay.
phone or laptop?
So let me try this.
We have an app.
Mm.
Oh.
So,
We got
who
that.
me? I'm on my laptop.
Are you using Chrome?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm gonna try it one more time.
Okay.
Dang it.
That is a really interesting point you made, Christy, earlier
Yeah.
about devaluing somebody with their name. That's the reason
Yeah,
why
but
prisoners and military prisons and things like that's the first thing they get rid of.
there's something that I'm doing.
Well, how are you?
I'm
You
You
can
can
just
still
talk if you
talk.
want to. You can still
I'm not
talk. We can
doing-
hear you.
Yeah.
How are you,
okay.
Steve?
I'm doing pretty good. The top of my I didn't know who you're talking.
I'm talking to you,
You.
I'm
Steve.
doing okay. The tops of my thanks, Stevie. The top of my lungs are still filled with liquid,
Mm,
Oh,
and
man.
How's your breathing?
run me out.
X out of it and then come back in. Or leave and then come back in.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
Okay.
oh, that's an interesting point. Kristen Melinda says, and why cults rename people sometimes.
Okay.
Yeah, that does make sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, that point kind of hit me hard. I hadn't related to that yet and hadn't really thought about it. So I have some processing to do.
Dang
What
it.
point hit you? What point
Pardon?
hit you? What point hit
Um,
you hard?
The renaming. So in my past relationship, kink was involved and dominant submissive relationship, which was turned into a 24/7 thing,
Ooh.
which I wasn't called my name unless my name meant that I was angry at, and then in turn I started doing the same thing back.
Oh.
Okay.
Ooh.
So just to kind of fight for myself, you know. So I'm that just hit me a little bit.
Wow. Wow.
But for 7 of those 11 years, I did not hear my name at all. And then I was because I was angry because I made somebody angry, then my name was used. And even
Wow.
then, sometimes it was like my legal first name is Lisa. I just go by Anastasia, which is my middle name.
Okay.
And sometimes they would use my legal first name.
Yeah.
Oh.
Which is Bear.
Bear Cub. Yeah, it's Bear Cub. So that point just kind of hit me.
Oh, how do you say about?
Well,
A boot?
it looks like
A
you
boot.
guys
No, now I'm just trying to be funny.
I don't know what you're talking about, man.
I wanted
Yeah,
to address this, Lord Kiss Freaks. No, I did not find any Looney Tunes. However, we are going to be going back to Alaska this summer, so I'm pretty sure I'll have another great Looney Tunes story for you. Stay tuned.
And if you're coming through Canada at any point, please let me know.
We will be.
I just I want to thank. I want to. This is probably the only time I'll ever get to do this. But I want to thank Jen for coming up to the hospital when I was really sick, and really looking after me and really taking care of me when Vicky couldn't be there, and I love you dearly for it.
Aw.
I'm glad you were able to do that, Jen.
Why you gotta make me cry?
I'm sorry.
I
Beautiful.
love you.
She brought me junk food. If that's any help.
Shut up! Why are you telling people that?
No,
probably deep.
It's
she
my fault.
actually.
I didn't let you have the junk food.
No, actually, it was yogurt and what Powerade.
Yogurt, Jello, and Powerade.
Jello.
Oh,
That's
okay.
right.
Well, there you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not
Wasn't
junk
that
food.
bad?
Wasn't that bad?
I can. Why isn't this? I'm gonna finish the sentence here in a minute. Anyway, she got to. She was about 15 feet away when I pretty much died once.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah. Steve, I'm so glad you're here.
I am too.
You and me both.
Yeah.
It's really good to see you guys.
Good to see you too. Or hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, yesterday Chrissy was on the bottom and it looked like there was a bunch of goats in her living room.
Yeah. At first, I thought Michael was home and we were like seeing his elbow out of the bathroom or something. I'm like, but that's happening too often. And then Michael just walked in the door. What is this?
I kept thinking that she had a dog that was going in and out, like back and forth. And I'm like, but wait, it's in the yard. I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to me.
My dogs are Sweetie is over there. She's like
Yeah, but it wasn't one of your dogs. It was one of the goats.
Mhm.
It was one of the goats. Yes.
It was yesterday. Yeah, right. Yesterday I was on. It was yesterday because I didn't have my video on, and I was laying sideways on the ice pack.
Mhm.
Aw.
Thank you, Mary Jones.
And Davey says we need you better so we can harass you too, Steve.
Yep.
Yeah,
Davey's
I
professional.
I don't want to. I don't want to come in here and disrupt the flow. So
You're fine.
if
You're
I
fine.
if I
Dude,
just
We pretty
disrupt the
much,
flow.
if I
yeah,
blurt
please do.
if I blurt out thank you Davey or Mary Jones or Jen is awesome and she's really my wife has a special spot for Jen
Yeah, right on.
in her heart.
Ditto.
That's awesome.
Hmm.
Ditto.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
You're not supposed to be seeing me right now.
I'm in the show. Everyone can see and hear you. That's a lie.
I didn't know
What?
you were here. You were creeping, and then all of a sudden you popped up, and you didn't notice me start to do this with my hair, trying to
I
hide my
did.
face.
I
Because
did.
I may or may not have told Steve a lighter version of what happened to me on Monday. I may have told
Okay.
him that it was a slight altercation because I didn't want him. Thank you, Mary.
Oh,
I
this.
didn't want him to be worried.
I knew you were. I knew you were fudging that. I just didn't know how bad.
Mhm.
It's kind of bad. I mean, it's this is just my face.
Well, do you guys mind if she goes over it again?
No,
I don't mind
I don't care.
Not at all.
if you're up for it.
All right.
Are you up for it,
No,
Jen?
I for him, for Steve, I'll do it.
Okay.
So Monday around 7 o'clock in the evening, it's getting darker later now, about 6:30 going into 7. And so I decided I was gonna go to the dispensary and get some gummies and some syrup because my insomnia has been so bad about this story that
Please don't tell me it was 8 Mile.
it was
It
not.
wasn't on 8 Mile, was
It
it?
was no, it was on no, it was on Knipp. It was a block and
Oh,
a half from my house.
oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, no, it wasn't on 8 Mile. I didn't go walking on 8 Mile. Anyway, no. So I left my purse and my phone home. So I thought, oh, I don't need those. I didn't take my mace because it's an issue when you go in the dispensary. Um
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
so
Mm.
and I had made this walk in the last 5 years. I made this walk. Well, they've been open for 4 years, three, whatever. I've made this walk a lot of times, and I've done it later at night than this,
Mhm.
But I go in the dispensary, I do my thing, and I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna get thirsty. I don't have anything but water to drink at home, and I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of water, especially if I'm not feeling great, and I haven't been feeling great. So, I went over to the gas station, and there's two doors. There's the door you push in, and then there's a door next to you that pushes out. So, I saw one of the two guys in the door as I was pushing it because he grabbed the door open, and then that's when he grabbed my arm that didn't have the bag from the dispensary in it to like start pulling at me and and get my coat, get me down, and the other guy swung at me and got my bag.
Mm.
And so it knocked me down onto the ground, and this guy like kind of half fell on me, and then he got up and he kicked me in the ribs and by my gallbladder.
Oh.
So I didn't have my phone. They did get run off, but they got ran off through the store and through the back door of the gas station. Like through the gas, like they ran back into the gas station and ran out the back door of the gas station. So it's entirely possible that the people that work at the gas station know them.
Oh.
It's a targeted attack because I've had these men harassing me since June of last year.
The same guys?
Well, I mean, I don't know if they looked like city council meeting familiar, but not like
Guys, I've got a
like a
situation.
interaction.
I've got a situation. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
Okay. So not like a one-on-one interaction memory of them, but like I've seen them in
Yeah,
city
right.
council
They look.
meeting crowds.
You've crossed paths with them before.
Yes. So the gas station made it a little difficult for the cops to get the CCTV, but they just went ahead and got a warrant for it so that they didn't have to fight with it. And so the police are investigating. They're looking at the videos. They're trying to identify these guys. And that's where we're at.
That attack sounds so stupid. They've got to be on film before.
I mean, I'm sure that I've got them on my camera, hammering nails in my tire.
Yeah.
I mean, 24 nails, and it's that. Well, yeah, I've got 24 nails total from like 3 different nails at a time. It's never the front driver's one because that's always parked where the liquor store has all its cameras. So, and then, it started to like quiet down some when I got my security camera. Well, once they noticed my security camera up there, but, I also have somebody tried to hit me in a pickup truck crossing the street going to the liquor store. I've got a huge file of like things that have happened to me since June. And Steve just dropped off.
Yeah, I'm sure you've got it all documented too. Like you said, you've got the camera that you've got set up. I just wonder how all of this can be put together because again, this lit a fire under my butt. There's just more injustice happening right now. Like,
yeah, well, the dispensary already agreed and gave over their CCTV of the alley so they can see those guys running. I'm friends with the guys at the liquor store, so if they somehow made it down by the liquor store and went down the side street, then they've got them. Then I'm friends with the human resources manager of the electric. There's not the electric company, but like an electrical company that has 2 blocks across the street, and they have a ton of cameras. So I've already emailed her and asked her, and then she said I could give her information to the police so that they could look into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, they're on it. It's just that at the same time, when I have 7 men that sit, in chairs of power in the mayor and the 6 city councilmen that only one of them even like likes me as a human being or sees me as a human being, and he's already been voted out, so he's gone. But until the end of the year, I had one ally, but
Mhm.
I'm friends with the city manager and he's involved, so that's a big deal for me.
Yeah.
I had all of these people telling me that, that I was just making it up, that I was being a bigot, I'm this, I'm that. And I'm like, man, I am like the least bigoted person that I know, right? Like, if my goal every day is to do one nice thing for one person, it doesn't, I'm not a bigot because I don't pick and choose who the people are. I want to, do something nice for and make smile.
Mhm.
Carol, are you okay? Is your
Yeah,
situation?
yeah. I've had to switch out the boy and the girl goats' pastures
Mhm.
because the girls aren't as prone to want to adventure or
Yeah.
And so I put the boys where the girls have been because there's no access out.
Right.
And
Yeah.
they're on the side where I normally let my donkey out.
Oh no.
And so he was chasing one of my wethers. And so I had
Oh.
to deal with that because what he did, I can't put the calves or the little calves in with him because he chases the little girl down and then gets her down and starts biting on her.
This is the donkey?
Yeah, a little
Yeah.
stinker.
Yeah.
I want a donkey. I'll take your
You can
donkey.
have mine.
They're stubborn and ornery and a lot to handle. Do you do you need to go handle the situation? Do we need to just end
I've
with a
got it.
heads up?
Hopefully, I've got it handled. And unfortunately, now they're all behind the barn. So unless they start running back this way, then I won't know if there's anything going on until I can get back out there.
Okay.
Do you wanna how's everybody doing?
Has
Do you
everybody had a meeting?
feel like we've had a meeting?
I wanted to
Yes.
take.
Yeah.
I really
But,
wanted to do
yeah.
true crime today. So thanks you guys for indulging me.
Yeah.
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 Sorry we didn't have as much true crime talk. I mean, I guess we can count me as true crime.
Exactly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Great. I'm true crime now.
Mhm.
Well, hey, it's not my first time. I hope it's my last.
I hope so
Yeah.
too. For real.
And I hope that Scott Peterson stays in prison.
For real.
Yeah.
100%.
Should.
Yeah.
We should. Yeah.
That talk about a miscarriage of justice. If there's anything that gets him out of prison, that's just too much.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, then I just have no hope left.
Yeah.
I agree. No hope in the judiciary, anyways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And in the world at large, in some ways.
Well, yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's be realistic, just in humanity
Yeah.
as a, you know,
Mm-hmm.
ugh. Yes, I've had a meeting and I think I'm going to have a post-meeting nap.
Yeah.
Have a
Either
good
that or I'm gonna have a post-meeting phone call asking me why I didn't tell the whole story
Stacia, are you
before.
I'm okay. I'm okay.
okay?
I'm
You've been
just
quiet.
quiet. I'm low energy. I'm low
Okay.
energy these last few days. That's all. That's
Okay.
all.
Okay.
But thank you
and
for checking in.
Michael's out of the shower and dressed, and I think we're getting ready to go get some food. So
Sorry for stealing her so long, Michael.
with that, you're here. Say hi. Put your hat on. You can see him
I'm not
clean. You get to see
I'm
him
not
clean.
sorry.
Hey.
Oh, he does
Now
look
he doesn't look like a chimney sweep, right?
So
he
true.
looks the same. He looks the same to me.
What?
He looks the same to me, but my eyes were blurry yesterday too, so
Some days he's really dirty and he's got his coveralls on, and today he's all clean.
oh, go get food and do things.
Right.
Henny, everything's okay as far as I know. For
Yeah.
a minute,
Well,
for a second there, it was not, but it is okay.
Yeah.
Donkey
It's not
situation.
the goat is doing fine. It's the donkey that isn't playing well with others.
Michael Bolton is the Antichrist. How you doing?
He is.
Hey, sweetie,
He is.
I want you to read that comment. Read that comment right there.
I don't know why that's so funny.
Because it's funny.
It is funny.
It
Oh,
reminds me of my friend's band. They used to have a song called a song called oh God, what great. Now I'm gonna forget that guy's name. What's the Entertainment Tonight guy? John
John Tesh.
Tesh. John Tesh is an alien was the name of the song.
Oh my goodness.
John Tesh is an alien, and it was a great song.
Nice.
Yeah, it was really funny. So that's what that reminded me of. So way to
Also,
go there.
in addition to, thank you for that, Hanny. And also make sure that you're still subscribed. I still have YouTube unsubscribing people, it seems.
Yeah,
Oh.
they're doing it to all of us.
No.
Oh, I would like to announce that I have I think I have over 100 subscribers now.
Yay!
Yeah. People want me to do a video looking like this, but I think it's inappropriate for my for the story that I'm covering about the boy
Okay.
from Trails. I don't think that I should look like this when I'm trying to cover something serious. It's not about me.
Well,
You know.
I was just suggesting that you tell your story on your channel,
Yeah.
but you know,
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, yeah, I could do that.
Yeah.
you know, I think
Maybe
it
take a break.
needs to be documented, recorded.
Yeah, maybe
Yeah,
take a
that
You know, if
actually,
nothing else, publicly shaming them.
uh-huh.
yeah, yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna get my little in-town sleuths on it. Give me some names because I'm not scared. I
Yeah.
never have been scared of them.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
So yeah, okay, you talked me into it. It's not gonna happen today, but I'll do it tomorrow.
After a nap, after some sleep, a night,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
Yeah,
a bath in Epsom
yeah,
salt
yeah.
with lavender.
Yes, I'm going to do that again. I just so you know, I fell asleep in that tub last night.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, well, it's the lavender, right? Oh,
Yeah.
so relaxing.
Yeah.
And I put I put Claire de Lune and some of my other favorite classical songs
Yeah.
on like a loop, and it was just so peaceful. It
Good.
was exactly what I needed
Right on.
because I got beat up and triggered all at the same time, so that
Mhm.
that wasn't a fun day. So,
Mhm.
but today, wait, what's a naughty step?
Yeah, I was curious about that myself, but I think it kind of is self-explanatory, except for the
I think
step
it's
part.
like a timeout. Like
Just
you
on the
put
stairs.
Oh, sit on the
kids
step,
on the
like in
on
a
the
timeout.
like
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Just send them up to Auntie Jen, and then I can have a security donkey that can protect me from this
Yeah.
group of morons
Yeah.
that won't leave me alone.
Does he have a
You
middle
know?
name? Did you give your donkey a middle name at least?
You know, Jet does not have a middle name yet, but
Oh.
he's cruising for a middle name, isn't he?
So
Fixing for it,
so
yeah.
we'll say you said his name is Jet.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so Jet. See, I'm good at this. Well, I'm not as good as Ben, but I'm good at this name thing. Jet propulsion. If he's running around like a maniac.
Oh goodness.
Jefferson Peterson airplane.
Oh, there you go.
Huh.
And you have to yell that all out. That's a lot.
Oh goodness.
Okay, so I'm gonna I'm already fading out with the sunlight, so I'm
Yes.
gonna go ahead and drop off here. And I love all of you
Love you too,
guys, and
Jen.
thank you
Good to
for
see you.
including me.
It was so good
All
to
right,
hear your voice and see you.
Yes.
thank you. I'm sure it was better to hear my voice than it was to see me,
No,
Teresa.
I'm so proud of you.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
thanks. I'm still nauseated from having the nerve to do this. So
I'm sure you did beautiful. You did
You did
beautifully.
really well, beautifully.
thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And you are fun sized, Davy, in every meaning of that term. This is the funnest girl. She's like my little sister, I swear to you. She like came in and she's like, I'm little Jen, and she just kind of like took off with it, and I love it. Because I've been a little more serious lately, so I need my joker at my side.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I love you. I love you too, babe. All right. I love you guys. Everyone have a good evening,
You
and
too, Jen.
Yeah.
I will see
You
you very
too.
soon.
Right on.
Okay. Good night.
Good
Okay,
night.
bye.
Bye. Well, what do you
I'm gonna
think,
say
Chris?
good
Do
night
you
to.
wanna
Oh, sorry.
I was gonna say, do you wanna just end it with a huzzah, or do you wanna do a meditation?
I think we should probably end it with his zaw because when Mike comes back in with the dogs, it's going to be chaotic, and he's going to, he doesn't say act like somebody. He's like, stop, Bon, what are you doing? It might be a little right. But yes, it was so good to see you guys
Good to see
all. I will
y'all.
see you tomorrow. And yes, yes. So, and as we get closer to the Alaska trip, I will keep you guys all posted. I will be going through Canada. Chances are we'll be crossing over at Sweetgrass, which is in Alberta. So I'm not sure where that is in relation to everybody, but I'm sure I'll have some more Looney Toony stories, and I'll have to tell you about the time I almost got Michael beat up by a whole bunch of oil field workers. He looked at me like, I think that day he would have just locked me in a car and walked away. So remind me to tell you that story. But you guys have a good night. I will see you all tomorrow, and huzzah!
Huzzah! Thank you, Christy. Well, I'm hearing a lot of barking out there. I probably
Huzzah!
huzzah!
Disco sucks. That's about all I got. Sorry. No, I'm
No
not.
worries.
You have yourself a great day, and
You too.
you give those misbehaving animals what for. You let
Yeah.
them know who it is they're messing with.
I think they have a fair idea by now.
You take care.
You too. Thanks, you guys. This was a good one. I love changing it up, and thanks for indulging me. I love it. And hope to see you again next meeting. And until then, peace, y'all.